For the first time in over 20 years, we received a call from our insurance broker, and they did an audit for us. I'm going to have one every year now because I think it's really important, as we know, and as Don Ernst helps us in the first business insurance video. There are things that need to be protected in your business. I would look at it as what could go wrong in every phase of your business, and should you have insurance coverage? Is there such a kind of coverage available, and how much is it going to cost? And just simply make a list. Do an audit of the functions, who's there, what can happen to them there, what can happen to employees away from the premises, what about visitors, customers, are you covered in cases of event? If you have big events, or even a parking lot party or tailgating party, is there coverage? Whenever there's risk, usually it can be bound with coverage from an insurance company. Lucky us. But look at it that way. Now I'm going to elaborate a little bit more on the different kinds of coverage that you might want to consider. Obviously, I don't go into manufacturing. In manufacturing, there are additional things, whether it's personal products, food products, heavy equipment, things like that. Those are every little extra function or every little piece of the puzzle of your business you would want to look at, and then talk it over with your agent and get the coverage that works best. Usually people only get insurance, or companies only get insurance, when someone else imposes that as a condition to borrowing in the case of a home loan or a business loan, or for business building, or a landlord requires it of the tenant, or you have it required in an agreement like a buy-sell agreement or key man insurance. You have to get it. Or then the state or the government, workers' comp insurance is an example of that. So I just want to go through a few of these, and hopefully you can see where I'm going to make it apply to your business that's a little bit different. Okay, business insurance. Papers and records. What happens if they're destroyed? How are you going to get them back? What is the value of that? Automobiles, travel. People traveling during the day away from work, or even longer. What coverage is there? They probably have their own, and I'm talking about them in their own vehicle, but then also what about company vehicles? Both ways. And some companies will have a vehicle available for people to use during their business. So that's another thing to think about. General liability overall for the premises, personal property, computers, desks, printers, the office equipment, and then also your other equipment if there's manufacturing equipment. Data breach. We hear about stores, doctor's offices, medical places. Somebody has breached their data. Do you have coverage for that? Is there coverage available? And what's required? What do you have to do? I'll do a separate video on data breach and requirements that companies have to notify their customers. I'll cover that, what that really is in detail. Business personal property, desks, chairs, things like that. Business interruption insurance. What's involved? Is it in case of fire? Is it in case of somebody can't physically get there and they're the person that needs to do it? What's involved? Find out what the coverage would be. Be realistic about the time that it would take for you to set up somewhere else, because that's usually what it's going to take in order to recover on that claim. How soon do you have to do it? Do you have to close your doors? What's involved there? Employer liability. You might think of O&E insurance, owners and officers, or errors and omissions. So the company's protected if somebody makes a mistake or does something wrong. But then also there's an administrative component also. What if you, as the business owner, or one of the business owners, makes a mistake? It's a simple mistake. You could have a payroll mistake where somebody was overpaid and now you have to get that money back, but also an underpay. Or what if there is a bigger mistake, a disqualification event for, I'm not trying to scare you, disqualification event for retirement. I mean, you're trustee on some of these things. What if there's a mistake? How are the people that are affected going to be reimbursed? You know, the bank account's usually not going to have a lot extra for big surprises, so you might think about insurance for that, okay? And then what about computer media? We had books and papers, important papers. What about book records? Is it on the cloud as a backup? Do you have a backup? That's covered in another video, what you should do to be safe. But how is it going to be restored? How long is that going to take? Do you need coverage for that? And then umbrella insurance to catch any other issue that there might be. You know, tag it on. And then of course the buy-sell, we talked about that on the other video, life insurance component. So I hope that that's helpful. I recommend that if you haven't had an audit in a while, get a hold of your company or your agent and do it. Make sure that you're covered.